Hi guys and gummy bears, Cleo and Connor from GamesR4FITE here to review Assassin's Creed 3. As a 5th entry in Ubisoft's award-winning AAA franchise Assassin's Creed, 11th if you count all the offshoots and handhelds, Assassin's Creed 3 is a fantastic journey through colonial America where the beginnings of a revolutionary war rumble, underscored by the age-old battle between assassins and Templars. With gorgeous graphics, improved controls, and a riveting storyline, Assassin's Creed 3 may be the best Assassin's Creed game yet. Sorry. I know that's what you want me to say and what all the top-name bought-out review sites are saying, but I'm gonna be honest here. Personally, I found Assassin's Creed 3 to be an overly long, unfinished mess. There are moments of greatness to it, and the storyline is interesting, if approaching JRPGs and levels of convolutions and character assassinations, both figuratively and literally. Yet it's clear how Ubisoft's team manages to spit out a game every year, or every few months, if again you count all the offshoots, put just enough superficial changes that all the fanboys will fall over themselves raving about this game, and hope they don't notice all the massively underdeveloped aspects lurking beneath. To begin with, Assassin's Creed 3 is bloated, hellishly so. What's the point of adding so-called side quests if all they amount to is following a magically appearing marker in your map and pressing a single button at a generic faceless NPC? I'm not really that eager to hear, "You have my everlasting gratitude," 3 times an hour. Or the Fort Liberation quests, which seem to be purposeless, as the Bluecoats are just as ready to slay you for roof hopping as Redcoats are. The way they shoehorned in all these so-called side quests without bothering to make them unique nor interesting puts me in mind of the very first Assassin's Creed game, 5 years and 11 games ago. As those of you who've played Assassin's Creed 1 without wearing rose-tinted glasses may recall, the sameness of the first game's many side quests was a huge detractor for the game, as well as the overall series. The homestead missions are a little more fun, but are undermined by the fact that the crafting system to which they give purpose makes no friggin' sense! There's a tiny tutorial at the beginning, but it really doesn't explain enough about the purpose nor process of crafting, stockpiling, or ferrying off your spoils in a convoy. And before you foaming at the mouth fanboys insist that I'm just stupid, I've discussed the matter with a number of Assassin's Creed 3 players, and even those who love the game could not figure out the damn crafting system. If game designers are gonna go to that much effort to put something expansive but optional in a game, they should make sure that the option isn't so confusing that a mass of players bypass the option completely. Controls aren't much improved either. Yeah, now you can jump through treetops, but the overall usability is the same, if not worse. The protagonists of the AC franchise have always shown a bizarre proclivity for jumping from roof to roof instead of running down the street like normal people, but Connor seems especially plagued by terraphobia. It literally takes more effort to keep Connor running down an alleyway instead of climbing every fence post, window, and wagon in eyeshot, often getting shot down by inept musketeers in the process. Lockpicking is another advent I wish they hadn't added. In an attempt to differentiate from the tried-and-true methods of, say, the Elder Scrolls games, Ubisoft has come up with a method of lockpicking that is ungainly, irritating, and relies more on tedious perseverance than actual skill. If you manage to crack the code and not have to fight with every lock for 10 minutes or more, congratulations! I didn't. And if I couldn't, you can be damn sure plenty of other gamers couldn't either. Graphics too get a brief mention, if only to point out something I thought was funny and very telling. While watching me play the game, my father, who is not himself a gamer but who has watched both my mother and I play through many games in the past, remarked, "The water looks so bad." And he's right. Technical limitations aside, after the vibrancy of Renaissance Italia and the dusky red haze of the Third Crusade, Connor's tramp through Boston and New York is dreary, depressing, and overall a visual downer. About the only spots of beauty are various outlooks over the natural world, and even those wear thin as every forest looks identical. At least Connor himself looks good, when a braid isn't clipping through his cheek, or a misloaded shadow texture makes him look like The Walking Dead. But again, there are some additions to Assassin's Creed 3 that I actually liked. The naval battles, for instance. They do take some getting used to, and feel rather incongruous to the rest of the story. How exactly did Connor learn how to captain a ship overnight? But they provide a nice alternative to the usual murder-filled parkour. I also appreciate that Ubisoft finally deigned to let you restart missions from a checkpoint, without losing all your previous sync options. Took them bloody long enough. Of course for me that means repeating missions ad nauseum out of a perverse drive to get 100% sync on every mission. But that's my own OCD-ness, and I can't blame Ubisoft for that at least. And the story is good. I like Connor, really. I think some of the other characters are a little weird, jumping from good guy to murderous bastard at the drop of a tricorn hat, but it was pretty fun going from one stage of Connor's life to the next. I wouldn't have minded staying as 5-year-old Connor a little longer even. He was so cute. The way they wove in actual historical figures was a little awkward, but I appreciate the effort nonetheless. I'm sure people that actually like American history, sorry, my interest lies in ancient Greece, are glad for it. Based on story alone, AC3 is a pretty good game. It's just all that other stuff that gets in the way. What's my overall opinion? Well, Assassin's Creed 3 isn't a terrible game, and I can see why so many people love it. But in my humble opinion, the Assassin's Creed franchise is in its last overwrought gasp, and if the next game is going to be a slightly prettier copy of this one, I may just have to skip it. Sorry, Connor. So if any of you are still with me after hitting dislike and moving on to greener pastures, go ahead and leave a comment with your own opinions about Assassin's Creed 3. Just because this is my opinion certainly doesn't make it the right one, and a quick browse around the internet will lead you to plenty of top-funded review sites that call AC3 a flawless execution in gaming. I'm just unlucky enough not to get paid to say that. Cleo, Connor out! Rah!